This is so nice. Why don't we decorate our apartment like this? Welcome back, travel fans. I'm Morgan from the very unofficial travel guides, and on this week's edition of Sunday Sofatime, we're going to talk about going on vacation forever. Hello everybody, welcome back. It is actually Sunday today. A lot of times I record these videos a couple days earlier so I can upload it like right away on Sunday morning, and I didn't do that this week, so it really actually is Sunday right now as I am sitting here talking to you. And if you're thinking, wow, he looks tired, you would be right. Marcus and I had a night out on the town last night. We went to see Bohemian Rhapsody, the Freddie Mercury Queen film, which we really enjoyed, and then we went out for drinks and dancing with some friends, and we were out until like 3 o'clock in the morning, which is something that very, very rarely happens in our life. So I am tired, and it's also the reason that this video is going up so late. All right, so I was thinking about making this video for a while now and thinking about what it is that is so much fun or so enjoyable or so, I don't know, rewarding about being on vacation. And if that would still have the same effect if you were like always on vacation. So I think in order to you know, like explore this, we need to talk about you know, what defines being on vacation as opposed to just traveling, and somebody's at the door. Okay, that was odd. Somebody just rang our doorbell. So in the last 24 hours, two things have happened that very rarely happen here. Marcus and I went out until 3 o'clock in the morning, and somebody rang our doorbell. All right, I don't know where I was, so I'm just going to get started exploring this idea. What is it about vacation that feels like vacation? I guess is what I'm trying to say. So one thing I know that I always really appreciate or enjoy when I'm on vacation or traveling is the living situation is so much different. Well, usually so much different than at home. And that has to do with like the cruise ship cabin or the hotel room itself. So what is it about staying in a hotel or being in a cruise ship cabin that's just so much more enjoyable than being at home? And I mean, I feel this way even when I have to travel for work. There's something I don't know, I enjoy about being in a hotel room. And I know people who have to travel a lot for like their jobs. I know they usually have a different opinion about that. Like my brother, he travels a lot for his work, and I know that he just gets annoyed about staying in hotels and would much rather be home. I'm kind of different, and I know that one thing I always appreciate about hotel rooms is that usually the furniture is nicer than the stuff we have at home. I mean, I love our apartment, I love our furniture, the red sofa here, but you know, like when we've been to Las Vegas especially, every time we go to Las Vegas, you know, we walk into the hotel room and think, oh, this is so nice. Why don't we decorate our apartment like this? So that's one thing that I really appreciate. It's just like having nicer things than I do at home. And I'm not saying that the things I have here aren't nice, but like, you know, when you go to the Cosmopolitan or if you stay at a suite at the Golden Nugget in downtown Vegas, it's just really nice, you know? It just feels really fancy, and it feels different than home. Also, one awesome thing about being on vacation and staying in a hotel or on a cruise ship is that you don't have to cook or clean. And here's an interesting difference. We really like to cook, but I think the cleaning is the more important part of it. The cleaning is what I don't like. I don't, you know, who likes to do laundry? Who likes to vacuum and you know, dust and do the windows and stuff like that? You know, nobody really likes to do that. And if you are somebody who likes to do that, well, why don't you come on over and visit? So that's one thing that's really awesome, at least as far as I'm concerned, about like, if I were to gonna like live in a hotel, that, you know, you don't have to make your own bed, you don't have to like clean up after yourself. You go away and have lunch, and magically it all just happens. And that's something that's really nice about being, you know, on vacation. I think that's one thing that I probably wouldn't get sick of if I was on vacation forever, is not ever having to clean up, to vacuum, to dust, to do all those things. Of course, I think, eventually you would have to do your laundry. However, there are, laundry services in hotels and on cruise ships as well. So technically, you wouldn't have to do that either. So, that would be a bonus, something that I'm pretty sure I would not get sick of not having that. You know what I mean? Another thing about it that's nice is usually when you're staying in like a resort, you have access to things that you normally don't at home. At least I don't. We live in a really nice building complex with a really big hof, like a big yard here, and there's a playground, and there's like, places to sit and stuff like that, and people have parties, birthday parties and stuff down there. But we don't have a pool. And so, when you're staying in a resort with a really nice pool area, or maybe like a water slide, or maybe, like a mini water park, that's like a huge bonus, something that I don't know that I would ever get sick of having. I know a lot of people who live in like condo complexes in the United States, especially, a lot of condos have pool areas and gyms, and a good friend of mine who lives in Fort Lauderdale. Hey Carl, I hope we can come visit you soon. He lives in an awesome building complex with, I think, 2 pools and whirlpools, and they have a really huge, really nice gym. So yeah, that's kind of like living on vacation. Anyways, tangent. Back to the topic. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's one thing that's always really nice about being on vacation or traveling for fun, is if you're staying like in a resort with a pool and maybe a water slide and stuff like that. Those are things that I don't have at home. And so I really enjoy having that while I'm on vacation. And those are things that I don't think that I would miss if I was like, permanently living in a resort, which would be, like permanently being on vacation. Of course, one major thing that makes being on vacation count as vacation is you are removed from whatever it is that you normally do every day. So if you're going to school, going on vacation means you're not going to school. So you don't have those responsibilities. And of course, somebody who works, going on vacation means you have time off from work. So that is probably one of the most awesome things, the most enjoyable things about traveling or being on vacation is that you don't have to do any of that. And of course, I think for a lot of people, that's also something that you wouldn't miss about if you were permanently on vacation, is that you don't have to go to work. And that's something I think is really interesting to explore. Of course, most people have to go to work, so they have money, so they can go on vacation. And if you're going to be permanently on vacation, how are you going to pay for that? You know what I mean? And that's the thing is, I wonder how long it would take living in a fancy resort, or like, living at Disney and going to the Disney parks every day. I wonder how long it would take until that starts to feel like, like normal life, and then you get sick of it and you want to do something else. Do you know what I mean? There has to be a point that you get to where you're like, you know what, I would really like to just go home now, or I would like to have some responsibilities. I would like to have something to do other than just wake up and go to the pool, or wake up and go ride Big Thunder Mountain. You know what I mean? As I'm saying it now, I can't imagine reaching that point, but there must be a time when you get to it. All right, I realize I'm kind of jumping back and forth from topics. I haven't written anything down. Sometimes I make lists and I write things down, like the topics I want to cover, but this is a totally like stream of conscious exploration. And I want to go back to the actual living situation. And one thing that I know I really appreciate about hotel rooms, especially like really nice ones, or cruise ship cabins, is like there's no clutter. And that's something that I know, like I said, I really love our place, but there's just stuff everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, and it's all nice stuff. It's stuff we've brought back from our travels. It's gifts. It's that whole shelf is full of our movies and games and puzzles and things like that. And the stuff that's here is nice stuff, but it just sometimes feels cluttery. And that's one thing that's always so nice about walking into a hotel room, is like everything that's there has its specific purpose. You know what I mean? And it's not cluttery. So yeah, that's I don't know, just a thought I had along this journey to wherever it is we're going. So, what have we talked about so far? We've talked about that it's nice to be like relieved of responsibilities. That's one thing you enjoy about being on vacation is no cooking, no cleaning, not going to work, not going to school. You know, also there's, you know, like if you're on a ship, there's kids clubs. You can give up your kids and then you don't have to take care of your kids. So those are nice things. But I'm sure that most parents would, you know, miss their kids after a while. I hope so. Oh, and that's one thing that I know that I always have a problem with when I travel is, you know, we don't have kids, but we have our cat. And no, I can't go get her right now. People ask about her a lot and why I don't like put her on the sofa back here for the videos, and it's because she freaks out about this light. I don't know what it is, but as soon as she sees me bringing it out, she runs away into the other room. So you won't ever see Chili here in a Sunday sofa time. But so that is one thing that I guess is kind of a disadvantage about traveling is pets. However, you know, there's a lot of places you can bring your pets with, and now you can even bring your dog with to some of the Disney resorts. And I have seen service animals and emotional support animals on cruise ships. So that's a possibility as well, I guess. But I would never, ever, ever want to bring my cat with me on vacation. I think, personally, I think that would be too selfish because I know that she would much rather stay here than be with us because this is her revere, you know what I mean? And to take her with so that I feel like, you know, I don't miss her, that would only be good for me and not for her. So that's why I will always leave her here. Of course, if I knew that I was gonna like really be living someplace or Marcus and I were gonna be really living in a resort for 6 months or something, then of course I would want to take her with because that's different. But you know, when we're just gone for like a week or 2 weeks or something, I think it's better if she stays here. But altogether, the way that ties into this is just that's one thing that's different about when you're on vacation is your pets might stay home or you might leave your kids with grandma and grandpa or whatever. And so that's something that, yeah, I would miss if I was on vacation forever. Here's another big thing that's pretty awesome about about being on vacation, and that is food in general. Like, especially if you're on a ship. We all know how much I love to go to the buffet on a cruise ship, and it's just a really nice thing about being somewhere different than at home is trying different food, going to different restaurants, going to different bars, exploring different dining and drinking options. Where we live here in Hamburg, there's a lot of restaurants around here, there's a lot of bars around here, but you know, after a while, it just feels like you know them all and there's nothing new to explore. And that is one of the things that we love about being someplace different is the different drinking and dining options. But at the same time, that is one thing that if you were to be living in a resort, you know, when you first get there, that's exciting. Is, you know, oh, what restaurants are around here and what do they have to eat there and what kind of special drinks do they do at that bar? But, you know, after a while, and that goes by actually pretty quickly, after, you know, a week or so, you've seen them all and they're not new anymore. So that's one thing that I think would ultimately not be a huge advantage about staying someplace, like being on vacation forever, is because if you're in one place, then that effect disappears very quickly. I guess in order to combat that, you just have to, you know, move a lot. You know, spend a week here and then a week there and then a week there, or, you know, 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there. That would be a way to sort of get around that, I guess. Okay, here's another thing that is different than like normal life when you're on vacation, and that is transportation, like driving. And I guess I'm specifically thinking about being on a cruise now or being at Disney. Of course, if you're staying at Disney and you're staying in one of the Disney resorts, you never have to drive, you never have to put gas in your tank, you never have to look for a parking place, you don't have to worry about your car breaking down. You use the Disney transportation to get everywhere. You use the buses, the monorails, the boats. Soon you'll be able to use the Skyway. You know, those are all really great things, at least if we focus on if we were going to be at Disney forever, is you would not need a car. And I know that's something, that's a huge, huge major factor about being on vacation, is that's something you don't have to worry about. And of course, it depends on what kind of vacation we're talking about, but if I focus on the kind that we usually do, we almost never have a rental car. So that's a nice thing. And we don't have a car at home either. So actually for us, having a car is more different than normal life for us. I think for a lot of you, not having to drive a car, that's the difference. But like I was saying, for us, driving a car is the difference. So in a way, I don't know, how does that fit in? I guess it's just different. It might be different for you than it is for us, but that's just something that is part of being on vacation. And of course, if you're on a ship, then the ship, is what takes you from here to there, to there, to there, to there. That's different than being at home as well, unless you live on a boat. And actually, one of the guys that I work with lives on a boat. He lives on a great big sailboat. It's parked in the harbor, and that's his home. So I wonder if, I need to ask him if he would ever like to go on a cruise. I wonder. Probably not. All right, what are the things that I've talked about now? It's been the hotel rooms. What is it that's nice about staying in a hotel? Access to amenities that you don't usually have, like pools, water slides, gyms, spas, things like that. Not having to clean, not having to cook, because there's restaurants around you. That's another thing. Exploring new restaurants, exploring new bars. That's one thing we love about being on vacation. However, the flip side of that is if you're going to be on vacation forever, if you want to keep that feeling going, you're going to have to be moving around a lot so you can always enjoy the new places. Another thing that would make you have to move around a lot is that the amenities will start to feel like home after a while. So you have to go someplace different to keep that feeling going as well. Not having to cook, not having to clean, talked about that. Not having a car, or for us, having a car, that's something that feels like being on vacation all the time. And being relieved of the normal responsibilities that you have at home, like work or school or maybe kids or maybe pets, that is also something that adds to the vacation factor, but would also be a negative side if you want to keep that up. Then you're going to have to not see your kids or not see your pets. And that's, I think, of course, very unreasonable. So one last question I want to explore or talk about or answer, and I'm really, really curious to see the comments, to read what you guys think about all this stuff I'm talking about, is in order to be on permanent vacation, to travel all the time, you're gonna have to not have a job, because that is, what being on vacation really means. Otherwise, people travel for their job, and then it's not vacation. You know what I mean? So I guess there's a difference between traveling permanently or being on vacation permanently. And that has to do with all the factors we've talked about already. So how could you reasonably make it work? And I don't really think there is a way, right? There's no real way to make it work, because being on vacation means being away from some kind of normal situation, normal job, normal surroundings, all that kind of stuff. And the longer that you are doing any of these things, then that becomes normal, and then it's not vacation anymore. You know what I mean? So in order to really make it feel like you're on permanent vacation, you're going to need to have an apartment someplace or a home someplace and then go away from that. How is it going to feel like you're on vacation if you don't have a job? But if you have a job, there's no way that you can permanently be away from it. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to figure out if it's even, possible. And I think the answer is no. What do you guys think? Altogether, I think this is sort of, this is one complete tangent. This video has only been a tangent, and I know there's a lot of people who enjoy when I go off on those tangents. So I guess I'm just going to wrap it up here, but please, all the things I've talked about, what do you guys think? Write about them in the comments below, and if there's some factors that I missed, and I'm sure there are, then let's talk about that in the comments as well. And now comes a time on Sunday Sofa Time where I comment on your comments live on air. Last week, Sunday Sofatime was another live stream, and I really enjoyed doing it, and I feel like now I know how to set it up so that it works the best. However, YouTube kind of let me down because when I started it, it didn't send out any notification. And so during the live stream, I was like, this is odd. Last time I did it, there were a lot more people here, and I found out that nobody knew it was happening other than the notification that I put out on Facebook. So next time, I don't know. I don't know if I did something wrong or if it just wasn't working, but anyways, what we talked about was dream cruise ship jobs. Like if we were going to work on a cruise ship, what would we want to be doing? And so these comments are in relation to that video. And a lot of people were suggesting that if I were to work on a cruise ship that I should be a cruise director. Like Studio Matthias writes here, you should be a cruise director. Other people were writing that that's what they thought I should do as well, and I talked about that in the video. Ann Jordan writes, so sorry I missed your stream as well. YouTube notifications were not working at all. I saw it on Facebook and on YouTube, but the bell, ding, definitely not working. Hope to catch it next time. Keep up the great vlogs and work. Thank you, Anne. And yeah, I really hope you can make it to the next one too, and I hope that the notification works as well. Siberia 4A writes, I used to work with a guy who did 6 months on a ship teaching classes, and he said it was the worst thing he ever did and would never do it again. Well, yeah, but now he knows. Precious Snowflake writes, sorry I missed your live stream, Morgan. I was downstairs doing some pre-packing for our cruise a week from today. So, you must be leaving today. Have a great cruise. Allure of the Seas out of Miami. Our very first cruise was on Allure, and we even booked the same room this time. You never get over your first love. But new cruise port, a new itinerary. We are crazy excited to go. I wish I was going with you. It's below freezing here, and we cannot wait for the sunshine and warm Caribbean beaches. I will catch up on your videos when we get back. Love your channel. I love reading comments like that. Thank you, Precious Snowflake, and I'm so excited for your cruise. I hope, well, I know you're going to have a great time. Send some pictures, okay? All right, final comment is from Lisa Anderson. Lisa writes, sorry, I missed the live stream. I was grocery shopping. There was an excellent sale on organic mushrooms. Lisa writes, also, I actually think you'd be a very good gentleman host. So that's one thing we talked about in the video last week is I had this list of cruise ship jobs, and there was one that I didn't understand, and that was a gentleman host. So we've cleared up now already that those are people who are on ships where they offer like ballroom dancing, and they are there to dance with the single women. And actually, I am, I think, pretty qualified to be a ballroom host, but I think I'm too small. You know what I mean? I'm only 5'5", and I would assume that most of these women would rather dance, you know, with like a tall, strong, Magic Mike type of guy. And that's not me. All right, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for paying attention to the long stream of consciousness tangent journey through the exploration of the topic of going on vacation forever. And I want to give you a secret word today. So the secret word is sleepy, because that's definitely what I am. So to clear it all up for anybody who's never done the secret word before, if you've watched the video to the end, if you're hearing me say this right now, then in your comment you have to somehow put the word sleepy into it. And that doesn't mean that you just write the word sleepy. You have to like hide it, so it's like a secret, like so that only we know what happened. See you next week.